Hello guys, and welcome to yet another session of the Gosu Academy. What I've decided to go through today is AWP peaks. Not only will I go through the AWP peaks, but I will go through the counters to the AWP peaks, so you know how to play against an AWP who is doing something specific, or if you are in an area where you're afraid of an AWP, what is the best thing you can do. The first one is the classic A Palace peak. Now, this is something you typically want to go for if you have a front spawn, so like a good spawn towards A. You can get it to look pretty smooth. It looks very stylish and also is very fast. The quicker you can do this, the more likely you are that the T-side player doesn't hear you jump up on the balcony. There isn't that much you can do to counter this peak. One of the things is just simply don't peek. Another thing you can do is obviously you can try to like jiggle peek, or you can try to actually work with your angles and see if you can find an angle where you can see the leg of the AWPer without him seeing you. If you feel super afraid of this, it will always be possible to do like a bounce flash like this and swing with an AK. If you expect the AWP to sit there, one of the best things you can do is just wait. The AWP will eventually leave, and if the AWP is full crazy, he might even push. If you're sitting here and the AWP is pushing, you will get the kill. So the second one is what I call fallen peak. It starts the exact same way. We want a good spawn towards A again. We want to do this. And as the Molotov is up, I want to come close, I want to zoom a little bit early, and I want to peek behind the Molotov. Typically when you do fallen peek, the right play in my book is that you ask a teammate with you. So either you can come here and you can peek this, and if no one's there, you can clear right side yourself. But you can also hold this and let your teammate, who is a rifle, clear this for you. Even if your teammate dies, you know, you just step out a little bit and you should be able to comfortably trade. Countering the fallen peek, there isn't that much good you can do. I think one of the best things you can do, because I didn't touch on this, is while the Molotov is burning, it can be really tricky to see the CT-sided AWP. So I like to wait until after the Molo, and then after the Molo, I either peek extra wide, or I peek, yeah, like a crouch peek, like a long peek basically, or sometimes peek. If we're peeking from con, we can do this, and normally we would probably flash all mid for ourselves to make it look like a default round. We can come down here, we can decide to peek down, where we only see when they're running out to the boxes. Or we can peek from up, where we can see more of mid, but it also is, in a way, a little more open. What is normal in a pro team is that the AWP runs and flashes for themselves. And then they have someone doing a delayed flash, and the delayed flash is timed, so when the AWP, so when I, as the AWPer, will peek, I get a flash that pops above. One of the best way to counter this is, you know, if you do a Molotov and the CT doesn't do a smoke, this is like an easy counter. If the CT does do a smoke, one of the counters is the kind of Monacy boost, where you boost here, and you hold con from a sort of different angle. You will kill the AWP here before he even gets to peek. An alternative as well that some people pull out sometimes is, you know, double or triple nading con. The ladder room peek. If you know for a fact the T-side never swings early mid, you can jump up into the window and jump over here and jump in. And you can go here and you can either hold this angle or you can start searching out, whichever you prefer. One of the best ways, I think, is if you as T take map control quickly and you are expecting this peak, if you go down this way, you can peek the ladder room peak in a headshot angle. And it is pretty tough for the AWP to hit this shot since he's holding like this and you will be peeking right here. It's one of the coolest in the game in my opinion. It is the short jump. So it looks like that, and then you can come play this angle. One thing to note about this peak is that if you stand up, you are visible to people coming underground. What's called the VP flash. You go up here, you aim here, and as you hit this, you want to slow walk and jump for. So this flash blinds the rifle player in window, but also will blind the AWPer jumping short. And if you have a window smoke from spawn combined with the VP flash, you can swing and you can catch the AWP here before he gets into position. It used to be very meta to throw a smoke that landed here and to kind of play around it. It is less so now, because in CSGO, if you're standing here in the smoke, you would basically be invisible. But even in CS2, This is a smoke where you can, you know, take a shot and go and play inside the smoke and come back out with flashes and stuff like that. Kind of necessary if you want to do a peek like this is that you explain to your teammates you will probably need help to get out of mid. So if you go here and you use your smoke, whatever, let's say you get a kill, let's say you maybe even get a second kill, whatever, you will likely always need help to fall back away from mid. One of the best things you can do is Molotov connector. The worst thing to have happened to you when you're playing here with AWP around your smoke is having the feeling that you are boxed in mid and that you can't leave. Because if the T side is aware that you are here, it is not that difficult to kill you. Like, if they bounce flashes like that and bounce flashes like this and they swing while connector is Molotov and they have someone coming from B to fight it as well, you will likely die. And this is something I call Dexter peek. It is basically where you play in the cubby here in underground. You can decide if you want to hold like left side of this or if you want to hold like this. But either way, it is actually a very tricky AWP angle to play against, because ST, if you peek this, you don't expect an AWP to be playing here. And also, as an AWP, even if you miss your shot, you can tuck back in, and you are almost unkillable in this corner. If you have a teammate ready to help, you can always throw... I know some people have a lineup for it, but basically an underhand flash like this will mean that the T-side player, if they are trying to run after you and kill you, they will get blind. And this will allow you to get, you know, a second shot in. As you're coming here, you can throw a flash underhand like that. And then peek with it. It's kind of not meta anymore. I guess you can do it like that as well. You maybe have a better timing to peek with the flash. This is one of my favorite peeks to do, actually. I haven't done it for a long time. You jump down into underground, and you keep going forward, and you peek like this. So what a lot of players will do is they will be playing like this kind of headshot angle, jiggling. And the Canadian peek is kind of designed to exactly punish that. You run all the way with AWP, and you peek exactly the headshot angle where this player is. If you kill this player, 9 rounds out of 10, B house is now fully clear. And it is possible for you to go and potentially grab a really aggressive angle in B house, or even just smoke the area and leave. Jiggling this area, and if you see an AWP here, I think one of the best things you can probably do for yourself is falling back and maybe even just bouncing a Molotov like this. This will allow you to go down into underground. Maybe you can even, you know, throw a nade here or something like this, but pushing down into this space makes it so if the other CT players are pushing into B-apps to help their AWP, you are kind of hidden from them, and you have a sort of one-on-one against the AWP player. This one is also not as meta anymore, using the smoke to peek underground. So instead of focusing on blocking mid control, I will walk through it with AWP kind of early round before the underground player can be here. And then I will be peeking the underground player and trying to kill, and then going back con before I get traded. You know, you can nade the smoke to check, and you can also go on this side of the boxes. This is very effective if you have window smoke. You can go this side of the boxes. Imagine I have a rifle. You can spam this lane with an AK. And this will make it so if the AWP is actually coming out here and peeking, you know, even if the AWP gets the kill here, he won't make it back into con alive. The next peek I have is kind of also out of meta, because this was also kind of using a one-way smoke. But I do think it has some purpose in CS2 as well. So basically I call it Saiwu peek. And what it is you jump out mid, and then as you come out here you do kind of an underhand smoke like this for yourself. And then you play like up on the bench here. If you bounce this flash that we talked about, which is actually for con, it will take whoever's playing on the bench. The same if you do the good VP flash. This is also something that will absolutely destroy someone playing on top of this bench. If you swing out mid with multiple people and you die to an AWP playing here, I would go behind the boxes, nade the middle of the smoke, and probably try to peek. If you stand still here as CT, a little before the shadow, because the bomb site is slightly elevated, you can actually with a proper jump, crouch jump and land on top of your teammate, and then you can jump immediately up onto the B balcony. And by doing this, you can immediately contact B, which is a very early timing. You don't even need to contact forward, like potentially you could just get here or get here and hold. As T-side AWP, you can go to this peak, but if you want to flash the AWP away, if he's sitting on this side, you want the flash to land somewhere here. And what you can do is you can flash out the window on this wooden pole. Because some AWPers like to take this angle instead. Then you want the flash more to be towards here. Then you can do basically the same thing, but just with a running step. If you're afraid that there's an AWP on this balcony, you know, this can be a solid flash to try out. What it basically is I go through window like normal, but instead of starting window, I will start stairs. And what I will do a lot of the time is just Molotov palace, and then I will come here and peek this with AWP. This can be really good if you know the opponents have low money. A lot of teams will be headed towards A when they do have low money. And so the Molotov blocks them from peeking you on apps, and it also blocks any fast plays. And then also peeking here against the Deagle or an AK is almost a free kill every time. Don't go slope until the A-house Molotov is gone, because the A-house Molotov is what lets the AWP stand here in the open and take good angles. And second of all, if you are afraid that it's stair starter but you still want to go, just do like one deep flash like this. The AWP, if he zoomed, won't see it, and hopefully if I didn't do a bad flash here, he will be fully blinded, and that will be enough for him to give up the angle and fall back. This last CT thing is kind of less of a peek and more so a setup. You have the AWP sitting up there holding top mid, and you will have a rifle standing here in middle and holding the walkout underground, which is a massive off angle. And the reason it's called the switch is because when the AWP sees someone and shoots, the idea is you switch. So as the AWP, my role will look like this. I shoot, I switch, and I go here. That is the go sign for my rifle to also switch and now hold this. So for the T side, it will look like you go out and maybe the first guy dies, and then you want to overswing the angle before the AWP kind of reloads the AWP or whatever. And as you're like wide swinging, now you're getting killed from down mid. I mean, if you want to do a delayed mid take, this flash is key to have. I guess in this case, this flash not only takes the AWP, but it will actually also, depending on where the rifle is playing. Maybe the rifle is playing more here. He won't get taken by the flash. Moving over to the T side. In this type of round, I think you want, instead of doing window smoke, you would prefer to have just a top mid smoke. The whole idea is we want to keep the AWP having focus on mid for the start of the round. Then as T-side AWP, what you do is you come running over here, and when you get to like here, you zoom, and you walk in zoom as fast as you can. And then you go over here, and you crouch, and you hold jungle. What a lot of AWP players will do is they will start in window, and helping with mid, and when that job is done, they will come and they will peek like this, or they will run out jungle. As CT AWP, there is a extremely good counter that I think most people don't know about. If you are not window as AWP, if let's say you started connector, I will always, when I'm going back, look like this. And the reason I do this is because whoever is closest to the point of contact will show more of their body. So if I'm holding like this, my whole arm is showing for the connector player. And so because shooting in the arm is a one-shot kill, I can peek the AWPer who is holding jungle without the AWPer who's holding jungle seeing me at all, and I can shoot his arm and he will instantly die. There is the Modesty peek. I touched on it earlier as well. You know, you can boost here and be partly behind the wall. If someone jumps down mid and wants to go con, you will kill them. If someone peeks con, you will kill them. It's a very strong peek. Before I peek mid, I will be getting a flash over middle. And if I use this to peek, if he's standing here and is blind, I will see him. And sometimes when you peek this, you will see like an arm disappearing. And you can like pre-aim this because you know he's boosted and you will kill him. So another T-side peek is the fallen peek. You basically get run boosted. So imagine I'm standing on top of someone. And what you can do is you can flash up in the sky, jump, and then get run boosted. And you will peek short and window and con all at the same time. Because you will be, as I said, you'll basically be having a flash in the back. You will be flung out here. You will land really fast. And you can like, on the way out, you will see if the AWP is out short. You will kill him. If he's window, maybe you have a chance. If he's con, you have a chance, right? Honestly, there isn't much of a counter. The switch can be actually a pretty effective counter because this guy will see the run boost and will try to kill. And if he misses whatever, then this guy can turn and a lot of the time kill this AWP. So the switch can be a decent counter. And what I like to do for myself is, as you have this top mid smoke, I just like to do this for myself. Throw a flash like that. Come out here. And before I peek, I will get a flash. I can never remember the lineup for this, but I think it's something like that. From my teammate. And with this flash, I can peek window, both sides, because it lands here. And if someone is down mid, I can kill them. And it's a kind of weird one, but it is actually quite powerful. So basically, you just start with AWP in B house, and you just walk underground with AWP late. When the CTs have mid for free, typically what they want to do, you know, if they are connector or whatever, and they have full control, and the AWP is here and they have full control, what some people will do is either the AWP will jump down and peek underground, or the rifle will come in and check this. And if he does, you know, with AWP here you can kill for free. But otherwise, if they don't peek, you can delay it, you know, do a window smoke, or your team can do a window smoke, and you can actually, with this window smoke, you can contact this angle, which is a lot of the time a rifle. And if he's not here, you can just keep contacting. And it's super nice actually, because the AWP will never play here basically. If the AWP is playing Top Gun, he will play there, like this side, or he will play here, or maybe play fire or whatever. But it is a way to peek connector in headshot angles. Counter to the Saiwu peek, like where you walk underground, would be, you know, having your AWP standing like this. If you do window smoke from spawn, and you get the VP flash, I sometimes like to do Surzone peek on T side, where I go and do this, and then I just instantly peek this, and then I keep just searching. The strength of this is that if the AWP or rifle is coming connector, they typically are doing this smoke first, and they are not expecting an AWP. There's also the chance to boost on slope. I prefer to do it on the shadow, so basically you come over here, you get boosted. The pros, they choose to throw the Molotov like that. That way the big flame is here, and it's harder to see anyone crossing. So that is the counter to the slope boost. If you want to peek B, it's something that I've learned many years ago. Instead of peeking B like this, it's almost always better to jump and land on top of the couch here and peek like this, because it gives you some elevation. So if the CT is jump spotting like this, you being on top of the couch allows you to see him for longer, and it also is a little bit more of an off angle. If the CT is boosted here, they have to peek, like they have to adjust to you being on top of the couch basically. But if you get instantly boosted with AWP here, or if you as AWP would come and peek like this, I mean, this is a pretty damn good counter. If you are an aspiring young AWP player, I hope that this video has been helpful. The people who hate playing against AWPs and want to know how to counter them, I hope you felt like you got some answers to your questions as well. I will just say thank you so much